That's perfect.
You want to see,
Little
buddy?
sweet puppy.
You want to see? Good.
I did vibrate silent. Is that keeps
You're perfect. You're perfect.
sure.
Good afternoon. This is Casey Ingram, and we have a very special broadcast today. I know it's not my usual time, but I wanted to be able to share the story here of Wags About You and the owner, Ryan Goessel. It's a very important issue, and honestly, folks, the clock for Ryan is ticking very loudly. One of the reasons why I wanted to do the show today is the Martin County Board of Commissioners have voted to ban the sale of puppies, cats, and kittens. And Ryan's business is the sale of puppies, and this will put his business out of business at the end of the year in December. We're broadcasting this show today for a variety of reasons. But first of all, Ryan was not informed or consulted or notified by the county that this ordinance was even being thought about, let alone when the vote was going to be, and neither was the other shop. So this was, if you can imagine, you're a small business owner, you're running your business, and if you can see behind me, this shop is very clean. Matter of fact, while we were setting up here today, some customers came in looking at the puppies, and the first thing that customer said is, "Wow, it smells really good in here." Folks, it does. This is the cleanest puppy store I have ever been in. The puppies are well taken care of. I stopped in here earlier, unannounced, looked just as nice. So we're going to talk as a small business owner, folks. This is not about, the story and the show is not about acquiring a puppy from a pet store or a rescue. It's really about government, and in this case, the Martin County Board of Commissioners, shutting down legitimate businesses without warning. Folks, if you're a small business owner, you know how hard you work on your small business. Ryan here was working hard on his business, making sure his customers are happy, and that's evidenced by the fact that if you look at his reviews, they're 5 stars. People are so happy with their puppies. And he was sitting here worrying about that, and how did Ryan find out that his business is getting voted out of existence? We got puppies in the background, so don't mind them if you hear them. But he found out because the media called him up after the vote and said, what do you think about this? That was the first he heard about it. So if you can imagine being a small business owner, running your business legitimately, you went and got your business licenses from the county, from the city. Within the last year, nobody mentioned you might have to close your business. And we're going to talk about this entire story, but this was government overreach. You know, I think about our judicial system. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but the Board of County Commissioners deemed any pet store that's selling puppies, cats, or kittens guilty. They outlawed them, they banned them without any input, and Ryan had no say, and that's what we're going to give him today. Also, I want you to know I've called animal control. When I first met Ryan, I learned about his story. He doesn't have any violations. And I joke with Ryan a little bit, there's no warnings, nothing. In fact, there was one notation on Ryan's record. And it was Ryan calling animal control after the vote saying, what's this new paperwork I have to fill out?
Right. Right.
So, and finally, I just want to say, why didn't I call the Board of County Commissioners myself? I watched that vote. It was on June 7th. And when they made that vote, I thought it was a shame because I thought, if this is true of these businesses and everything they said, what if there's an ethical business owner a year from now, a month from now, what have you, that wants to open a business, but yeah, we're outlawing all businesses. This just doesn't seem fair. But like many of you, I'm busy. I let it go. I'm not going to open a pet store. And then I read Ryan's email that he sent the Board of County Commissioners and found out the reason why he did not show up to that meeting was he didn't know about it. And a lot of things that were said at that meeting do not apply to him. They were completely false. When I listened to that meeting, and I've listened back to it many times, it was so one-sided that I didn't feel that my one small voice was going to make any difference to the Board of County Commissioners. And so that is why I've put this out publicly. Let's put this out for you to hear the story. How would you feel if you're a small business owner and this happened to you? So we're going to answer any questions or try and answer some of your questions after the show. We're going to cover a lot of topics here over the next hour. Your questions may get answered. So I'm not going to look at my Facebook Live until after the show, and we'll go through it then. Also, I want you to know that today we are focusing on Wags About You with Ryan Goessel. This is his story. There's 2 pet stores in the city of Stuart. That's all there was in the entire Martin County. But today it's about Wags About You. There, if you look at my Facebook Live feed, there's 3 links that we've posted. The first is a petition we'd like you to sign if you support Ryan and his business. This is going to go to the County Commission beginning on Monday, including your comments. We're hoping that they will grandfather Ryan's business in. After you hear the story, I'm sure you'll agree. Also, there's another link if you prefer to just email them yourself. And finally, I will have some clips from the Board of County Commission meeting, but the entire meeting is posted there as well in the comments, so you can watch the entire meeting from start to finish. And we have another cheerleader back there.
Puppy.
They say, don't close us down. So Ryan Goessel, nice to meet you.
Yes,
Wags
you
About
as
You.
well.
Who do you have with you?
This is our little female Frenchie who is taking a nap, right?
Hey, I like to take naps
Yeah.
in the afternoon too.
A little siesta.
So nothing wrong with that. This is one of the puppies that Ryan sells, and we're going to talk about his entire sale process, how he sources his puppies, everything. So my first question for you, Ryan, is what brought you to Martin County?
Martin County has been home to my family since the 70s. You know, I moved here on and off since 2008. I purchased my home in 2019. This is where we came to vacation when I was growing up. You know, this is home. This is home.
Why did you open your store in Stuart?
Again, this is home. You know, why not open 10 minutes from where I live?
That's exactly
You know?
right. That's right. Why puppies?
Why not puppies? Puppies are the best of the best. You know, they are just, everyone has to smile when you have a puppy, you know, and you can't find puppies right now. You know, it's a need. It's a need. You know,
It's super tough. It is a need, and you're absolutely right. Everybody that comes in here just loves the puppies.
Right.
I love the puppies. And honestly, a couple years ago, I was looking for puppies, and they were gone before I could even purchase one.
Right.
And we're going to hear some people that say, well, everybody should be getting puppies at rescue. And we're going to go into that a little bit of why not. And I'm one of those people that didn't. I wanted a non-shedding toy poodle. And it took me a while, but I found one. It was over 2.5 hours. I wish you were here at that time because
Right.
it was before your store opened, but it would have been a lot easier. And I would have trusted my local business. So how long have you been in business?
we opened in November of 2021.
November of 2021. So you are coming up on your 1-year anniversary.
Yes,
Ryan,
just shy.
I truly hope that we're going to be back here celebrating a 5-year and a 10-year anniversary as well. Commissioners, I am going to share this video with you. Folks, I really hope you listen to Ryan's story. He's a resident here. He's been here a long time. His family goes back to the 70s. Commissioners, I want to say something to you directly. I know your job's tough, and it's super tough to be out in the public, and you have people like me that's now calling you out, and it's like, wait a minute, this decision was made a while ago. You know, why don't you come to me personally? And I've already explained that. I didn't think my one voice would even make a difference because nobody asked, where are these business owners? Nobody talked about them at the commission meeting. And I just truly think that you didn't get the whole side of the story. And believe me, when you see puppies, your heart goes out to them. The rescues, I get it. I wish there wasn't a need for them, but there is. But that isn't Ryan's fault. And we support the Humane Society. That's what they're for. I wholly support that. So commissioners, I just want you to put your place in Ryan's shoes for this next hour. Listen to his story, and then, ask yourself, what if this happened to me? What if they decided that, because some landscape companies have illegal migrants working, they shut down the entire industry? Not fair. There's a way to eliminate bad actors without eliminating everybody, and that's all I'm asking. Let's keep the good actors. Let's keep the good businesses, especially here in Martin County. We need the jobs. We love it. So on to some more questions. How many employees do you have?
Right now we have 8 employees.
And I saw that you had 2 jobs posted. What about that?
It's trouble finding people right now. We've had a lot of people wanting the job, but then news gets out that they might not have a job in December.
That's right.
And it's hard to keep people at that point. We could hire more, but it's just, it's a matter of time for them.
It's a matter of time. And at the end of the show, Ryan's going to read his letter that he has shared with the Board of County Commissioners. But honestly, tell us again, why would they lose their jobs? It's this ordinance. I mean,
It's the ordinance 100%. After 12/31/2022, we can no longer sell puppies. That is my business. We sell puppies.
That's just this December, folks, and right after Christmas. Ryan, so has Wags About You sold rabbits, cats, or kittens? That's part of the ordinance.
Wags About You have never sold rabbits, cats, or kittens.
So you're strictly puppies.
We're
This ordinance
strictly
wouldn't even
puppies.
apply to you for that reason. Ryan, can you describe what your typical customer is?
It's everyone. It's everyone in the community. We have older people that are living in HOAs that have size restrictions. We have families with children with allergies. We have new couples that are just looking to add to their family. There's not one person, again, who doesn't love puppies.
Right. Oh, I can't imagine who doesn't love
Right.
So let's move on to another question here. And you just kind of answered it, but why wouldn't they adopt from shelters?
Again, sometimes it just doesn't fit into their lifestyle. Whether that means, again, allergies, HOAs, size restrictions, breed, restrictions.
Right.
There's different things that don't allow people to go to shelters.
Sometimes you're looking for a very specific breed. I know I was
100%.
with the toy poodle, and there just wasn't any puppies available in the shelter, and I wanted
Right.
a puppy, not an older one. So a lot of different issues. The ordinance was backed by, and it took its input from rescues and the Humane Society. They're clearly, on the front line of these abandoned animals, and they have a perspective of the worst side of animal abuse and abandonment. And I get that, and my heart goes out to them for that. But however, many pets, spend a lifetime loving them. I have never let go of a dog. I have never sent one to a shelter. I mean, when they're in my home, they're part of my family, and I think
Right.
that's the majority of America. A lot of us, and the people that purchase your pets. This is a big purchase, a big decision.
100%. And there's no pressure. I want people to think on it. I want people to make the right decision for their families, for the puppies. And I'm very upfront and honest with every single person about that.
So Ryan, let's step back a little bit about how this happened. Did the county notify you about the ordinance or ask for your input?
Nothing. I had no idea this was even in talks whatsoever. No one's ever came here, called me, nothing.
And how was it you
Nothing.
found out?
A news reporter showed up outside of my door the day the ordinance was already passed.
I mean, folks, if you can just imagine that. The day the ordinance passed, all of a sudden the news media is sitting outside your business. You have no idea why.
Right.
And they inform you that a vote was just made by the county commission that's going to close your business after Christmas in 6 months. I can't even imagine, folks. I can't. And we're going to go into that a little bit more later. So when that happened, Ryan, when did you first contact the county about the ban?
I just recently contacted the county about the ban. After they did it, I thought it was a lost cause. I didn't know there was any hope. I lost hope with the county, the way they did things. I thought my out was going to the city, so that's what I did. The same week, I went to the city and I spoke before the city.
Can you play that clip number 7, Iggy? And you have a clip here. Yes, the last clip.
Do we have any public comment, Madam Clerk?
Yes, we do. I have Brian Goessel.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you guys? My name is Ryan Goessel
Barely
and I'm a
hear it.
resident of Stewart and a small business owner here in the city. Last week, Martin County voted on an ordinance to ban the retail sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits. This decision will directly affect my business, Wax About You, and how I make a living. I believe this decision was made by the county without them doing their due diligence. I received no notice about this decision, nor was I given the opportunity to provide my business practices and all the steps I have in place to guarantee the health and wellness of my pets. I have a local Stewart veterinarian who's been in practice for over 30 years, Dr. Diamond from Boulevard Animal Hospital, who does health exams on each and every one of my pets on a weekly basis. I send each pet home with a contagious and genetic health guarantee. Dr. Diamond wasn't able to attend today's meeting, but I have a letter of recommendation on his behalf. I've had nothing but positive feedback from the people in the community, many stories of people being scammed on the internet and families looking for certain breeds that were hypoallergenic and not being able to find what they wanted for their family's needs. I truly care about each of the pets that I come to my store, and I am proud that I can bring my experience with pets and knowledge of breeds to help families decide what works best for them. This decision affects me personally. I have personally guaranteed a 5-year lease with my landlord. I have worked so hard to achieve this dream and change the perception of pet stores. I ask you to take all of this into consideration and come to my store, Wax About You, and see how I conduct my business. Talk to the people of Stewart who've had firsthand experience with me before you accept this ban. Thank you for your time.
So Ryan, that was Ryan speaking 6 days after the ban, folks. 6 days after the ban, he went to the city commission, and I understand Brian's perspective. I've watched this commission meeting. I urge you to as well. I can understand why he didn't go to the county commission meeting. It sounded like there was no hope. There seemed to be a direct agenda to put these pet stores out of business, and he was hoping his city, where he also got a permit, was going to help him. Brian, to this day, has anybody from the county or city came to your store?
No, not once.
So that is why he didn't go to the Board of County Commissioners sooner. He went to the city. Nothing was resolved. Time keeps ticking. Again, that December deadline is looming and getting ever louder. And that's when I found your letter and called Ryan up. And folks, I'm almost going to get a little emotional here. The day I called Ryan, I couldn't believe the letter I wrote. I couldn't believe the county commission did not contact the very businesses they were voting out of existence. It didn't make sense. And when I called him up, it was a very emotional call, because Ryan said, I didn't think anybody cared. He says, you don't know how much your call means to me. I didn't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And nobody's responding, and I didn't think anybody cared. But we do. And Ryan, there's a lot of you folks out on Facebook since we put this out that are very supportive. They understand how hard it is for small businesses, and they understand not everybody's bad. You can't just lump everybody into a bad pile. Every industry has a bad apple, or maybe lots of bad apples. I used to be in the horse racing industry. That's another industry that gets a lot of bad publicity. But I guarantee you how much I love my horses, and maybe that's part of it. That's why I know not everybody's bad.
Right.
We love our animals. So Eric Miller from Talk About Martin had the opportunity to actually record Chairman of the County Commission, Doug Smith, and Vice Chair Ed Campy just this past week, and he will be releasing these videos shortly. However, I want you to know that Chair Smith, he's the one that needs to approve that this issue come on the agenda. We're asking them to bring it back on the agenda, at least grandfather these shops in. And I think that you'll agree as we continue through the hour that at least these shops should be grandfathered in. And we're hoping that they'll do that. But while Eric was talking with Commissioner Campy, who, by the way, was very open. Commissioner Campy, you didn't wave Eric off. You stood there. You answered his questions. I can't thank you enough. You were very open, and you opened our eyes to a lot of information that was going on, and I can tell that you're listening to this issue. And one thing that you said, there was a couple things you said that I want to address today. First, you said that you went to staff and asked them if these stores were notified, and staff told them the stores were notified. Staff told you the stores were notified. But this is not what I found, Commissioner Campy, and I'm going to share a couple things. First of all, the ban happened on June 7 of this year. On that very same day, Megan McRoberts from Channel 5 WPTV, she's our partner for WSTU, she did a story, and in that she said, employers or owners at the Noble Paw and Wags About You said they were not aware the county was planning to vote to change the law. Now they have 6 months to sell animals they have before doing so. They will be in violation of the ban. In addition, Hometown News had a reporter, Donald Rodriguez, June 16. He wrote an article, and in that he said the owners of the Noble Paw and Wags About You both say they were shocked to learn about the county's decision after the fact. The owner of the latter, Martin County resident Ryan Goessel, was so disheartened when contacted by Hometown News a week later over the fact he had completely been left out of the process. The county had never called, come by my location, and or asked me where I got my puppies, he said June 13. I found out from a news reporter after the ordinance was already passed. He said, I wish someone from Martin County had contacted or come to see my store at a minimum. The other owner said, we have invested our life savings into this endeavor as any new business does. We were just licensed 7 to 8 months ago, so we signed a lease we're responsible for. The thought someone would tell us we couldn't do this without any due process, without any wrongdoing on our part, is pretty scary. We were also not warned by any city or staff of this possibility prior to being issued our business license. Same thing for you, Ryan. And this is why Ryan now has to contemplate bankruptcy. He signed a personal guarantee on your 5-year lease.
Good.
Our county gave him a license to run his business here. And you plan to. You're a resident here.
Right.
You're employing 8 Martin County residents here and looking for 2 more. You plan to stay here for the duration. And again, look at his reviews. He is not a puppy mill person that is selling sick puppies that doesn't care about them. It is quite the opposite. And finally, I want to point out that this Don Rodriguez from Hometown News wrote our Assistant County Administrator, George Stokas, who was very instrumental with this ban. And in his letter, he asked Mr. Stokas, first, did you reach out to the owners of either the Noble Paw or Wags, the county's only 2 pet stores selling such animals during the last several months you were working on the project? Taryn Krizda, our county administrator at the time, responded to Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Stokas is out today on vacation. Due to your deadline, I'm going to provide you what I know on the subject. Mr. Stokas worked with Animal Care and Control Oversight Board and Animal Control, who I believe did reach out and even inspected the 2 stores, and obtained similar ordinances from our surrounding counties to obtain information to assist in developing the ordinance. BOCC county staff, to my knowledge, did not have conversations with pet store owners. That is not our practice. They did not have conversations with the pet store owners. That is not our practice, is what the county administrator said. The county passes restrictive ordinances on occasion, such as the sale of tobacco locations and most recently the sexual predator, with no notification to those to be affected. Completely different from puppies. We did share the draft of the ordinance with the city of Stuart, which both of the stores that sell puppies are located within the city's boundary. I do not know if they notified the stores since they made a decision to be included in our ordinance. The way the ordinance is structured with the stores, having until December 31st to be in compliance, I believe provides adequate time for the stores to determine how they can modify their business model to be successful when they would not move out of their store. As stated earlier, our surrounding counties have passed similar ordinances, and Martin County did not want to become an attractor for possible business that would sell puppies, cats, and rabbits that they obtained from a less than desirable source. Folks, our surrounding counties, Palm Beach County to the south, passed an ordinance in 2016. They grandfathered in all the pet stores. Indian River County to the north grandfathered in existing businesses. St. Lucie County passed their ban in 2020. They did not even address the existing businesses because there weren't any. They did not ban any of them. Interesting, the city of Stuart was able to send the ordinance to Indiantown, Stuart, Jupiter Island, Ocean Breeze, and Sewell's Point, but they didn't reach out to just 2 businesses, the only 2 businesses that were impacted. Mr. Rodriguez responded, "Thanks for your explanation, Ms. Krizda. Unfortunately, since no one from the county went to meet the owners, they both are being impacted negatively by this. The owner of Wags About You is a Martin County resident who opened his store last November and has a 5-year lease and insists he does not use Puppy Mills. The Noble Paw also has a 5-year lease and was offended that some of the public speakers insinuated she uses Puppy Mills. By the way, Palm Beach County grandfathered all their existing stores in and requires monthly reports on where the animals come from. They are not being forced out of the pet sale business, but no one mentioned that fact during the hearing. Both of the Stuart stores are locally owned." You know, Ryan, there's a lot of good points in here, isn't there? First of all, that was something that we'll cover it again a little bit later, but the puppy mills, where do you source your puppies?
I have been approached by numerous Martin County residents looking for me to buy their puppies, and when I can, I do, 100%. When I have to go out of Martin County, it's breeders that I know, breeders that I trust, breeders that I've used in the past. My Golden Doodle breeder, for instance, my older sister has a dog who's 7 from him. That's how I made that connection. You know, so when someone gives me happy, healthy, great puppies, yes, I'm going to continue to use those people.
So you source them. I wouldn't hardly call these people the puppy mills.
No.
And, you know, that's something that I think was very clear on your website, and it's very clear in your reviews. And we're going to go over a little bit more on some of those issues as well as we hear the Martin County Commission meeting when we play those clips. But first, Commissioner Campy, you also stated the county is not closing this store. They are in the city of Stuart, so they don't have the ability to close the stores in Stuart. Both stores are not in unincorporated Martin County. They're in the city. He also said it's up to the city of Stuart to mimic the county ordinance to create their own. We'll talk about that as well. But first of all, to the county commissioners, isn't the fact that these business owners were not even notified and had any idea that this ordinance was being passed reason enough to go back, invite them into the conversation and revisit this ordinance? Other counties have definitely grandfathered pet stores in. Why can't we? This really is a good business, commissioners. I encourage you all to please come out here and visit. Talk with Ryan, look at his store. You're going to find what I do. As far as the city of Stuart, and the county isn't the one closing the store, I reached out to the city of Stuart, and Mr. David Dias, the city manager, responded to me this afternoon. He said, you know, first of all, it has never been on the agenda of the city of Stuart, the pet ban, so the commissioners have not voted or weighed in on this. But David Dias specifically said, "I do not recall the city asking the county for a moratorium or a ban. I do recall staff and commissioners getting complaints about the puppy stores from past employees, citizens, and purchasers of puppies. I do recall having staff look at what other communities do and what their ordinances are like. I put a hold on it when I discovered there was some state-level legislation proposed, and that would be House Bill 849, Senate Bill 994, that would outlaw these types of ordinances from the county and city levels. But the legislation did not pass the county, and the county did not pass the state, and the county was already in the process of doing their ordinance. I don't know what my commission would have done if we had proposed our own ordinance." So which is it, commissioners? The county wants to claim they have no authority over businesses in the Stuart municipality, which is the only location any pet stores selling puppies are located in Martin County. Yet the Board of County Commissioners wrote the ordinance with language that only impacted the businesses in the city of Stuart, an ordinance that will close these stores, putting approximately 15 employees out of work right after Christmas. If you don't want to claim you controlled the decision of the fate of these businesses, then why did you include language that only applied only to the city of Stuart businesses? Why did you change the moratorium from 1 year to 6 months? Again, this only applied to the city of Stuart businesses. There was nothing in unincorporated Martin County. The Board of County Commissioners created this messy issue, and you just can't have this both ways. Next, we are going to show you statements from the proprietor of Farm Dog Rescue, Ms. Carrie Burgess, Polly Campenny, a representative from the county-appointed board, Animal Care and Control Oversight Board, and Commissioner Campy. Ms. Burgess was credited for being one of the main forces behind bringing this ban issue to the county. She even provided the county with a 41-page packet supporting banning pet stores, including a sample pet ban ordinance. Before we see her statement, let's look at some facts and timeline. Ryan, Again, when did you open your store?
November 2021.
November 2021, Ryan opens his store. The other pet store is known to be around the very same time. I have a public records request submitted for complaints to the BOCC from the fall of 2021, and I will share those and put them on my Facebook when I receive them from the county. But in the meantime, I did search the Board of County Commissioners public portal of emails, and I searched for anything relating to the pet stores. Keep in mind, again, these stores opened November 2021. December 2021, Ms. Carrie Burgess from the Farm Dog Rescue emails the Board of County Commissioner her 41-page packet urging the ban on the retail sale of puppies and kittens. February, and folks, that was just a month after he opened his store. February 2nd, a complaint comes in from a former employee of the other pet store. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Animal control investigated, but no charges were filed. February 6th, Commissioner Campy, if you could please put that visual up, Iggy. Commissioner Campy forwards the complaint to Ms. Carrie Burgess of Farm Dog Rescue and says, quote, Carrie, please see the email, the below email. I will find out tomorrow what is happening with our item to ban these stores. I will find out tomorrow what is happening with our item to ban these stores. I wasn't sure if you wanted to reach out to Angela. I will as well. Thanks, Ed. Folks, this is February 6th. Our Vice Chair of the County Commission is reaching out to somebody that has supplied a packet that clearly wants the pet stores banned and has already said our item to ban these stores. It was clearly the agenda to ban these stores. At that point, it didn't look at that point that there was any point of reaching out to you, Ryan, to see what kind of business you operate. This is the first you've heard this.
Yes, this is. I'm absolutely shocked that this was, shocked.
It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. And
Yeah.
that was February 6th. All the while this was being planned, and he had no idea. He's running his business, having happy customers, and getting his 5-star reviews. March 11, a letter sent to the BOCC in support of banning puppy stores and accuses Noble Paws, the other pet store, of buying puppies from Mills, but there's no substantiation of that claim. The person stated, quote, it is my understanding the Commission has received a proposal to modify our ordinance to stop pet stores in our country. Please put this proposal on the agenda as soon as possible. We cannot allow these outlets to multiply. This is March 11. Again, somebody here knows this is being talked about and on the agenda for the county, but our very pet stores that run the business, that have paid the fines, that are employing people had no idea. And then I saw one other letter from June 6th. It was another rescue that urged the BOCC to pass the ban. If there's other complaints, I will put them up on my Facebook page once the county responds to my public records request. Iggy, if you can now, can you start with clip 1? This is from the Board of County Commission meeting. We're going to start in the order that all of the comments happened here, and that would be Ms. Polly Campenny. She represented the Animal Care and Control Board, and she's going already. Thank you.
I have
Iggy.
the privilege of sitting on your Animal Care and Control Oversight Board, and I'm here today to encourage your unanimous support of the change to Martin County's animal ordinance. That's going to come before you later today. There are currently 2 stores operating here that sell puppies. The Oversight Board has 2 veterinaries who sit on the board, and at the last meeting, they reported that puppies sold from these establishments have required veterinary care, in some cases requiring euthanasia. Purchasers have been given documentation of breed authenticity that is incorrect, and the physical condition of the stores was inconsistent with the humane care of animals.
So a lot was said there, Ryan. First of all, let me ask you this. That was one of the things that was stated earlier from Taryn Krizda, the former county administrator, that the vets, the 2 vets on the board, the Animal Care and Control Board, came and visited your store. Did you ever see them?
No.
Did anybody come here and ask to see the back room, ask you any questions, ask to see your books?
No one.
Ask to see health records, anything?
No one. No one has ever came, called, nothing. I've never talked to anybody.
Nobody, folks.
Yeah.
Nobody came. So let's talk about what she said here. Have you had some puppies that you know needed vet care, and as a result they had to be euthanized because they were so
No.
sick?
No. That's just blatantly not true.
She also said that some purchasers were given documentation of breed authenticity that is incorrect.
No. Again, nothing to do with Wags About You. Not my store. Not true.
And finally, the physical condition of the store is inconsistent with humane care of animals.
I think, how is that even a logical statement? Look at this, look, come see my puppies, it's crazy. It's a crazy statement.
Folks, it is. I cannot imagine how anybody could call this store inhumane and how these puppies are treated inhumane. I have no idea, and I have to believe this is the only part I have not been able to get a documentation from the board yet, the Animal Control Board, and I am going to ask for that. I saw in their minutes that they recommended the ban, but I didn't see anywhere in their minutes where they talked about visiting Ryan's store or the other store. There was no documentation about that, and I hope to find that. But Ryan's the owner. If they sent board members out here, they should have identified themselves, and they should have asked to inspect the entire facility. Go look in the back. Ryan would love to show you.
Right, please, right.
To have these things said is so slanderous about a business, and he's done everything to make this a 5-star puppy store, and he stands behind his puppies. And folks, read the comments from his customers. They absolutely love him. So, again, it's a shame that these things were said, but Ryan's saying, please listen to me, commissioners. It's not me. This is not my store. Moving on, the county finances about $800,000 annually to the Humane Society. Commissioner Campy stated he also gives money to local rescues through his taxpayer-funded slush fund. Concerned citizen Mike Circus spoke about a conflict of interest for the county to vote on the pet ban, as this will give them a monopoly to the Humane Society and the rescues, entities that are supported by our tax dollars through the county. There's a conflict of interest for the county deciding this. Iggy, if you could play clip 2. This is from the Pet Farm Rescue person, Miss Carrie Burgess. And if put our Zoom.
My name's Carrie Burgess. I am representing the Farm Dog Rescue, and I don't have a monopoly on pet selling in Martin County. We noticed last fall that there were a couple of pet stores popping up in Martin County, and I think, as you've all pointed out, it was because the surrounding counties had created ordinances against such pet stores, so they started to flood into Martin County.
Okay, so again, I want to remind everybody that Palm Beach County passed a ban 6 years ago in 2016. St. Lucie County, to the north of us, passed a ban 2 years ago in 2020. And after all that, Martin County had 2 stores that opened up in the fall, the late fall of 2021. Ryan, do you consider 2 stores opening in Martin County a flood of new stores?
No.
And were you shut down in another county and then search for the nearest county to open another store that did not have a ban?
No.
How many pet stores have you owned before this?
Never. This is my first pet store. This is my first business.
Could you play clip 3, Iggy?
So I had started to have conversations with the commissioners, and with the help of Jenny Sherlock, we had come forth with a recommendation for an ordinance change. Since that time, and I 100% support the reduction in the time into 6 months for the changeover on the pet stores. Since that time in the fall, we've already seen the repercussions come from the pet stores. So from a rescue standpoint, I run at 10 to 15 surrender calls a day from our local community, from actual owners. And with the pet stores coming in, I mean, we're actually trucking animals into our community, which is already a pet overpopulation issue. But that being said, the financial burden, which falls on the residents, the nonprofits, and at the end, the community at large, for all the medical issues that come up with the animals. I'm already getting calls from the community saying that they bought, this puppy. It was an emotional purchase. They spent thousands of dollars on it. The medical is so great that they cannot, afford to keep the dog, and they either need help and assistance financially or for us to take in the dog. So it's going to continue. So the time of a year is a challenge, just because there's that many animals that are going to be, put into our community. So I would strongly recommend the 6-month that has been, suggested today. But nonetheless, I really appreciate you adding it to the agenda. I appreciate the attention for our pets in the community. And I'm grateful, that we've had an opportunity to bring this forward. I recommend that you approve the ordinance.
So I definitely appreciate Ms. Burgess having a pet rescue and taking care of pets here. And that's not what this is about today. Again, this is about shutting down a legitimate business that is running his store ethically. He sources his puppies ethically. They're healthy puppies. And Ms. Burgess said a lot in her statement. And she came out and gave some figures, but what wasn't said is, do we know how many of those figures, how many puppies in those figures actually came from one of these two pet stores? It made it sound like they both come, or all these surrenders are coming from these pet stores, but we don't know that. Runs 10 to 15 surrender calls a day. And she said she's getting calls from the community because the medical bills are so big they can't afford to take care of the dog. Again, this is since these two pet stores opened up that haven't even been here a full year. They have not even been here a full year. Ryan, are you aware of any puppies that you sold that have been abandoned to a rescue due to medical costs?
No.
Have you had any customers complain you sold them a sick puppy and they can't afford to take care of the medical bills?
No.
Have you had any health or code violations?
No.
And I verified that. So let's talk a little bit about your health guarantee, Ryan. Tell us, what is it?
Well, I have a local veterinarian come here once a week and take a look at all the puppies. We do physical exams. We make sure they're up to date on vaccines. They're microchipped with a negative fecal test. We ask our new families to take the puppy to Dr. Diamond at Boulevard Animal Hospital in the first 72 hours of purchase.
Which you cover that
Which
cost.
I pay for that. This way they know they bought a healthy puppy. I know I sold them a healthy puppy. In the event there's a cough, a cold, worms, go back to Dr. Diamond in the next 2 weeks. I cover full treatment until the puppy is 100% better. And then there's a 1-year health guarantee against anything genetic.
So that last sentence you just said, I don't want to gloss over that. First of all, the 14-day guarantee is because viruses usually, 14 days is the maximum incubation time.
Exactly. There's a gestation period for 14 days for anything contagious. So coughs, colds, usually if it was encountered in 14 days, it comes out within those 14 days.
So anything after that would be
Right.
something they caught outside of your shop, and it wouldn't be
Correct.
fair to ask you to cover that. However, the congenital disease that you cover for up to a year, I find it very interesting. If we think about Ms. Burgess's comments, she's saying she's having all these puppies surrendered. They haven't even been open a year yet, folks. I can't imagine anybody purchasing a puppy who has a guarantee that Ryan said, please bring it back to me. I will give you your money back. I will take care of the puppy. It does not make sense that they would go drop that puppy off at a rescue when they have an owner that they know loves and cares, a seller here in the area that takes care of his puppies, so much so that he pays for the vet check after you purchase your puppy. First 2 weeks, anything's wrong with it, he's paying for it, all that, and he's guaranteeing it for a year. So folks, that statement right there just didn't add up to me. I just don't understand how any of these puppies would end up back at a rescue when the stores have not been open a year.
Right.
Iggy, if you can, let's move on to clip 4. We're going to move on to Commissioner Campy now.
Commissioner Campy?
Thank you. First off, I'm happy that we're bringing this forward today. I had the opportunity to originally hear about this when Carrie Burgess asked me to meet with her from the Farm Dog Rescue. And as Mr. Stokas mentioned, and I appreciate that he acknowledged Carrie and Frank from the Humane Society of the Treasure Coast, the collaboration there was helpful for us so that it was a unified voice. Couple of concerns. First off, Ms. Burgess was able to hand me a packet of information like you mentioned, and I gave it to our legal department that did a lot of the legwork. It wasn't like, hey, I have this idea, I think the county should be doing this, and best of luck to you. She really did the legwork, so I appreciate her efforts. And you know, it's interesting that most of the not-for-profits and the Humane Society are located in District 5, so I have been really involved in most of those groups and use district funds to assist.
So that pretty much states what we've already covered a little bit. Ms. Burgess did provide that packet 1 month after the stores opened up. Clear intent to shut these stores down right from the start without any foundation or justification. It was just, there's a narrative out there from the Humane Society to shut all pet stores down, and that was the intent. And for Miss Burgess, I get it. You see the animals that are abused and abandoned, and it's a simple view to say, let's just stop selling them, and then that stops it. But that's not the real world. Even if pet stores are shut down, we're never going to eliminate the need for rescues in Humane Society, unfortunately. And that's why I'm happy to give my tax dollars to support these organizations. I'm also very unhappy that this county would shut a legitimate, good business down, providing jobs and providing a service that people want, folks. If people don't want to buy their puppies at a pet store, he wouldn't be in business. He needs customers, and they do come here, and they do purchase the puppies. One was picked up today. Two little boys got a brand new puppy,
Right.
so it was very cute. They were so happy. That's what this is about, and they know they can come here. This store is going to be here. It should be here next year. I don't know, thanks to the county, but it gives people peace of mind to buy from an establishment like this, and that's what we're overlooking here, folks. Ms. Burgess, within a month of the store opening, sent this pack to the commission, and Commissioner Campy in February said, we're working to ban these stores. And nobody's just contacted him. I'm beside myself that this could happen to a small business. So do you have any input on that clip, Ryan, just listening to it?
Honestly, it just, again, blows my mind, the whole situation. Just the way they went about everything, it blows my mind.
Let's listen to clip 5 as Commissioner Campy continues.
One, I understand, having been a small business owner myself, that there should be a transition period for people to transition out of this practice. However, to me, a year allows countless number of pets to still be sold under probably difficult circumstances. So we're basically, and then there'll be families that go in there unknowingly purchasing animals that we had heard from a speaker this morning might not be as healthy as they are promoted to be, might end up costing those families thousands of dollars worth of veterinary bills, might then be a burden on the not-for-profits and the Humane Society when people just figure, I can't afford a $2,000 vet bill for a pet that I just purchased.
What do you think about that statement, and what does it mean to you and your employees?
We're all going to be out of a job. We're all, because of this ordinance that he just, just out of nowhere. Hearing it again just makes me speechless. It makes me just think, how is this possible?
And I don't agree with not grandfathering these businesses in at all. But Commissioner Campy is saying, it's the city of Stewart. They're in the city. We don't control it. He was the one. It was even his own board, Animal Control Board, said a year. He was the one that took the charge to say we need to reduce this for 6 months, which is ultimately they voted unanimously to do. And as a small business owner, I'm reaching out to you guys. You know the sweat equity, the blood, the hard work. Writing those paychecks at the end of the week, it's not always easy to do. Oftentimes, you, the owner, go home with nothing because you make sure those employees get paid. And it's not easy to run a small business. And for these commissioners to arbitrarily just shut these businesses down without even talking to them, without visiting it, you didn't have any codes or violations. You don't have the sick puppies. Your puppies aren't being euthanized.
No.
Commissioners, I'm hoping you realize that maybe you weren't giving the correct information here, and just this is a heartfelt, emotional type of thing when you talk about puppies or dogs that kittens, rabbits, whatever it is, being abused. I get that you want to save them, but this isn't this man's fault. This isn't coming from his shop, and it's just not fair to shut him down. And we're going to move on to the next clip from Commissioner Campy, if you could.
As well as the fact that I'm not saying specifically that the ones that are located here in Martin County, but there is another side of this business, which is the financing of these pets for people that don't know any better, go into one of these operations, see these beautiful pets, and then buy one potentially approximately for $3,000 or $4,000 through a financing situation that then puts them in a difficult spot to then have to make these. So if there was a possibility of shaving that year to 6 months, I think that is fair to the business, but fair to everybody else that I just mentioned.
Ryan, is it illegal to offer financing?
No.
Do you believe it's the responsibility of our county commission to dictate what items a person can finance?
Definitely not.
Absolutely not. And Commissioner Campy talked about being fair to everyone. Is this ordinance fair to you?
The complete opposite of fair.
It is the complete opposite of fair. Again, folks, you didn't even know about this ordinance. I don't know how you can call that fair. And took your money for the business permit and licenses, but
Right.
this is fair to just close you down without notification. And also, I wanted to ask you, Ryan, as you hear people say you got to transition out of your business, modify your business, reimagine your business. How do you react to that?
Opening a business is hard enough, and to come up with a whole new idea to have a successful business, it just seems like that's a huge ask of somebody.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Business models are tough to come up with. Successful business models are tough to come up with as it is. So when you have one and then just have people that have nothing invested in this, have not reached out to him, have not spoken to him, and just tell him, well, you can reimagine.
Right.
It's not that easy, folks. It's not that easy. Finally, folks, I encourage you, please, again, under this post, you'll see a petition that you can sign to support Ryan. You can see a link to email the commissioners and also the full commission meeting. If you care to watch it, it's a little bit long. You can go to Wags About You Facebook page, and through that page and the petition, I'm going to read you a few comments, and we're going to close the show out with Ryan sharing his letter that he wrote to the county commission that nobody's even responded to. But if you go to the Wags page, it's very cute. You ask people to help you reach out to the petition, and they're posting pictures of all their puppies
Right.
and how happy they
You
are.
just see the emails I've gotten too. It's
It
just
is.
been like a flood of just nice people being so happy with their whole experience here. Now that my dogs are, 10 months old or so, it's nice to see them grown and just such happy families.
And I can assure you, folks, if you look at the Google reviews and whatnot, it's tough to get people to take the time to write positive reviews.
Right.
Everybody writes a negative review because they can do it to bully a business if they're upset with them for any reason. Positive views are tough to come by. Take a look at Ryan's on his Facebook page, on Google. They're very positive, and I'm going to share a few with you. I love my little girl. There have been no health problems or issues. I think everyone should have the choice to buy or adopt. I've done both over the years. Give these people a break. We're so thankful we could buy our dog locally and know it's well taken care of. I truly think the owner of Wags About You is a loving, kind person with a lot to offer our community. I think it would be cruel to shut his business down. I needed a small hypoallergenic dog due to severe allergies and travel restrictions. These are rarely found in shelters, but I found my beautiful, healthy dog here. Closing a wonderful store like this will only force people to spend money in other counties. Please, grandfather. We purchased our puppy from Wags About You a few months ago and have visited the store several times since. The store is always clean, and it is apparent the puppies are well taken care of. I would hate to see a small local business shut down without cause. How can Martin County be so cruel to two hardworking small business owners? I can't speak about the other store, but I can say that my experience at Wags About You was exceptional. This outrage should be reconsidered to allow the existing stores to continue operations. I believe they shouldn't stay open. Or I believe they should stay open. Sorry about that. I was like, wait a minute. I believe they should stay open. I walk in on a bad day and seeing these puppies just brings me joy. I don't see many places like this staff. They're kind and friendly. I've had bad experiences with pet shops, and this is by far the best establishment I've ever seen. The folks, these are going to be shared with the county commission starting on Monday. We're asking the county commission to grandfather these businesses in. And I understand the rescues are very concerned about dogs that are abandoned and whatnot, but that's not the case with this store. This was so unfair. Palm Beach County to the south grandfather them in. St. Lucie County did not make any of them illegal. They didn't have any to grandfather in, but they didn't write that clause in. Martin County didn't have any to grandfather in either, by the way, because these folks are in the city of Stewart, but yet the Martin County Commission did. And Indian River County to the north of us grandfathered it in. Everybody on the Treasure Coast is. Ryan didn't flood in here from another county because he couldn't somewhere else.
Right.
You're a county resident. Ryan's family goes back to the 1970s here, folks. He's one of us. I haven't been here that long. And, he just wants to operate this business, and there's a need here. And
Right.
Ryan, this is the letter he wrote to the county commission folks that just pulled my heartstrings, and I couldn't believe what I wrote or what I read. And I'd like you to share that with the listeners now.
Definitely. I'm a resident of Martin County and a small business owner in the community. I own Wags About You, the pet boutique in the downtown public shopping center. I write to you today in concern of the future of my business, the community, and my personal financial well-being when banning the existence of a well-kept business like mine with ordinance number 1181. The adoption of this ordinance will directly impact my business and others in our community. It will also impact me personally as my business, like many small businesses in our community, has a personally personally guaranteed 5-year lease, and with the decision to adopt the ordinance will force me into bankruptcy. As a resident and a member of the community, I request that you consider the impacts that the adoption of this ordinance will have on me personally. During Martin County's ordinance reading, it was said, During Martin County's ordinance reading, it was said my store is a health and safety violation to the community. I would like to explain how this statement is not only incorrect, but also how my store supports other businesses in our community. Prior to opening my business, I worked diligently to ensure I would have adequate processes and local resources in place to ensure the safety of the community and animals. Dr. Wayne Diamond, owner of Boulevard Animal Hospital and former Treasure Coast Humane Society veterinarian, is a resource to my business to ensure that every animal brought into my store and sold are well cared for. Dr. Diamond comes to my business on a weekly basis to provide a physical exam to each pet, ensures that they are vaccinated and have no signs of illnesses before issuing a Florida State health certificate. Dr. Diamond has written a letter of support for my business and is willing to join us for a meeting or phone conversation if you have any questions for him. I understand and support the need for adoption from our shelters and rescue groups, but because of so many unknowns and uncertainties, rescue is not the option for some families. For instance, some have young children, some suffer from allergies, and some just have a specific need or a breed that a rescue cannot provide. Adopt or shop should be the decision each community member is able to make for themselves. The community has accepted my store and are grateful to be able to buy and support a local business offering healthy, happy, and guaranteed pets. Adopting this ban will force the community to look for pets outside of our community and potentially have them purchase unhealthy pets with no health guarantees from poor quality breeders who aren't licensed and bring them into our community. This would then become a real health concern. Lastly, during the ordinance reading, it was mentioned that other counties in our surrounding areas have passed similar ordinances banning the retail sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits, but with far less restrictions. It is important to know that majority of the counties mentioned did not shut down any stores when implementing their pet ban. For instance, Palm Beach County, Pinellas, Pasco, Osceola, Brevard, Indian River, St. Lucie, all did not shut down any puppy stores. These are just a few places in the state of Florida where no businesses were shut down. I have been blessed to help many families add new pets to their homes, and I welcome you to visit my business to see firsthand how well maintained and clean my business operates. I ask that you reconsider Martin County's ordinance number 1181 and you consider the impacts it will have on our community, my business, and me personally. Sincerely, Brian Goessel.
Brian, thank you so much for that, and it really explains everything shortly and briefly, but we've went into depth to really explain to you, the viewers, that what was explained at that commission meeting is not Brian Goessel's business. It's not Wags About You whatsoever. It's completely unfair to shut him down without any notification, without even visiting his store. Nobody's responded to this beautiful letter. And commissioners, I hope you really look at this. This is one of your employers here in Martin County. You know, I always tell everybody, I got to get into the politics a little bit. We're a red county in the freest state in America, and yet we have just arbitrarily shut down a business because somebody said pet stores are bad. Some of them are. This isn't one of them. We shouldn't be getting rid of the bad actors. Folks, there's ways to do ordinances. Brian, we talked earlier, you know, with the microchip. Follow that through.
Right.
Let the county track the microchips from these stores. He microchips all his puppies. If there's so many of them that are getting congenital issues at veterinarians, then have an ordinance that you have so many and then you're going to be shut down. I mean, talk with the business owners, work with them. Don't just shut them out without any
Exactly. And we're open to restrictions. We're open to the county coming here and saying, you know, yes, but to shut us down completely without, again, a phone call, coming here, anything, no. Like, that's just not okay. It's not the way it should be.
No, and I think one of the commissioners mentioned there should be inspections. You welcome that.
100%.
Anytime.
Please. Yeah.
Anytime. He wants to show you his shop. This is not nothing. This is not the scourge of Martin County. This is not a health and safety and welfare issue whatsoever, folks. This was a wonderful business. It shouldn't be shut down. He's going to lose 8 employees after Christmas. Can you imagine that? And the other shop as well. Between the two of them, they employ 13 to 15 people at any time. So, folks, let's think about this, please, in Martin County. We're not asking you to change the world. We're asking you to go back this ordinance. I don't think you had all the facts, commissioners. Come talk to Ryan. He'll give you the facts. He'd love to show you the shop. He'd love to show you his puppies, and you're going to fall in love with them. And, you know, let's do what's right here, folks. Let's support our small businesses here in America, and this is one of them right here in Martin County. Ryan Goessel, Wags About You, thank you. I hope that the commissioners go back and do the right thing for you. It's an easy thing to do, just grandfather you in.
Exactly, and I appreciate the time. I appreciate you calling me. I appreciate you seeing my letter. Without you, I would not be here right now. And I appreciate that wholeheartedly.
It is truly my pleasure. It was just one of those things when I read that letter, I couldn't be silent. So I'm ashamed I wasn't there at the June 7 meeting, but now I understand the full realm of what happened at that meeting. So folks, please, the petition, sign it. There's a link below this video, or write the commissioners. They really need to hear from you. This is the only way I think that we're going to get them to even consider to go back and grandfather these businesses in. There's only 2 of them, folks. We're not talking about a flood. There's
Right.
2 businesses. And fine with the restrictions. Go back, do grandfather with restrictions, turn in paperwork on your puppies,
Exactly.
certificate of source, whatever it is,
Right.
folks. They're willing to work with the county. They just want to talk with them.
Yep.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon. Please share this video, talk with your friends and neighbors, and let's help Ryan have a 5-year anniversary here, because I think he will if he's allowed to.